In this video, I'll be reviewing the all-new LEGO Fortnite Battle Bus set and all 9 minifigures that it comes with. Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 77073, Battle Bus from the LEGO Fortnite theme. This set contains 954 pieces, 9 minifigures, and will retail for $99.99 when it officially releases on October 1st, 2024. This set was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are entirely my own. I'm doing early reviews of all the LEGO Fortnite sets, so if you're excited for them, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps to put my videos in your feed more often and also does a ton to help support me in the channel. Also, let me know in the comments which of the LEGO Fortnite sets do you want to see me review next. And now let's get into the review. So here is the Battle Bus, and it feels so surreal to actually have this as an official LEGO set. When I did my unboxing of these sets, I saw a few comments that were like, why did he get these? Does he even play Fortnite? And the answer to that is yes, I do play Fortnite. I've played Fortnite since Chapter 1, I think Season 2 or 3. I've sunk way too much time and probably too much money into the game. But ever since Fortnite really took off in, 2018 or whatever, I have been wanting LEGO Fortnite. I feel like the two just mesh together so well. Fortnite's got all these cool, very fun and cartoony characters, and it just matches the LEGO world really nicely. So it was super exciting to me when the LEGO Fortnite game mode was announced, but this is even more exciting. Starting at the front of the bus, we have the blue glow funnel right here with this pipe that leads up to the top. Obviously, this is a major part of the Battle Bus in-game, so it makes sense that it's here, but I'm also really glad things like this were preserved. If they wanted to, they could have redesigned things a little bit to make it a little more simple. But no, it seems like they really did try to go for as much accuracy as possible, and I think it looks super cool. There's some transparent pieces at the front to be headlights, as well as these mirrors that hang off, and these can be adjusted. They use paint rollers to make the shape of the mirrors, which is a really cool technique. I think it is one I've seen before, but it's also incredibly effective. Now, something kinda cool here is the hood of the bus can actually pop open, and it gives you access to the engine. That's something I really like, because obviously that's not something you really ever do in-game. You don't take off the hood of the Battle Bus ever that I know of. But it just gives the set a little bit more for play, and the hood's very easy to reattach, and it doesn't detract from the looks at all. And that creates some consistency with other vehicles from other LEGO themes, because there's tons of other sets that also do that. I'm happy that's here. There's a stickered part above the windshield that just says Battle Bus. It would have been nice if that was printed, but it's also not the end of the world. Here we have two more adjustable windshields, one on each side, and then this is the part that on a normal bus would be the stop sign. However, the sign here is a little bit different. And this is actually one of my favorite details of this entire build. So that little sign is the Storm Shield logo from Fortnite Save the World. Now, to be fair, this is just there for accuracy reasons. That is on the actual Battle Bus, but I also think it's really cool that it works as a reference to Save the World, because Save the World was the original version of Fortnite, but Epic Games really doesn't acknowledge it much or give it much love anymore. So it's neat to see, in the first official LEGO Fortnite set, that game mode is still represented in some way, even if that is just for accuracy reasons and not to, intentionally reference that game mode. The blue glow funnel at the front contributes to that too, though not nearly as much. Moving down the sides of the bus, there's these giant gray clamps that, hold the balloon to the top. These can be lifted up and moved out of the way, and they are probably my least favorite part of this build. They're not bad, but they're just not as strong as everything else. I think my biggest issue is there's no way to just lock them in place, so they always feel a little bit loose. That's really not the end of the world, and visually they still look good. But from my experience messing around with this, they can just get a little bit annoying sometimes because they don't press down completely flat, and you gotta start messing with things up here to really fix that. That's a very small criticism though. Overall, I don't mind these. They do use stickers on them. There's 4 of them total, and they're all identical. And then I really love how the body of the bus was done, because at the end of the day, it is a bus. It's going to be very flat, but using some very simple techniques, they added a lot of texture here. You got the grill pieces at the top, you have these little black pieces that extend out a little bit further. There's a few different lights throughout, as well as a sticker with some battle damage. When it comes to that sticker, by the way, normally I'm an advocate for prints instead of stickers almost all of the time. However, this is a rare case where I actually like that this is a sticker and not a print. Because once again, the battle damage is fairly accurate to how the battle bus appears in-game. However, if you want a more pristine, less battle damage battle bus, you can simply just leave that sticker off and the build's gonna look completely fine. There's a similar but slightly different sticker on the other side, and yeah, same thing applies there. On this side, there's some ladders to help get up to the top, which is pretty cool, and the door on this side's in a slightly different place. This is more normal door placement for a bus. The one on the other side's more uniquely a battle bus thing. At the very back, we have another door that's marked emergency door with another sticker, and that sticker that just says battle bus on it is also right here, just like it was at the front. On the roof here, everything's very smooth and rounded. You can see where those clamps connect in the center. There are some studs underneath everything, and the clamps cover those up, but when you do have them moved up and out of the way, that looks a little bit awkward. However, it helps them integrate a little more naturally when they are actually down. At the front, this is where the pipe leads to, and then of course in the center we have the hot air balloon, which is probably the coolest part of the build. On each side, we have a sticker of the VenderTech logo, which is also what's on V-Bucks. And of all the different stickers in this set, that's definitely the one I wish was a print the most. Because yeah, while in the context of this build is the VenderTech logo, that could just work as a V-Buck piece. Maybe V-Bucks should be a little bit smaller than this, but also I wouldn't mind if they were this size. So I think these are really cool parts to get regardless. I think they just would have been even better if they were prints. However, as I'll get into later in this video, this set is actually a really good value. So that doesn't bother me nearly as much as it may in another set. We have a radar dish on one side, a little propeller on the other, two little stickered console pieces underneath everything, which is a little surprising to see because that's just like such a small part of the build. But once again, quite happy they're here, like I will gladly take that. And then for the flames that are blowing up the balloon, we actually have a really cool new recolor. So this comes from LEGO Monkey Kid a few years ago at this point, right? This is like a year or two ago? But this is the LEGO Monkey Kid Fire Ring Fire piece, and we got this I think in 4 different colors that wave. There was transparent red, I believe, transparent light green, transparent regular blue, and I think also transparent purple. However, this is an all-new recolor of this part in this set in transparent light blue, and that's really amazing because I don't think we've seen this piece since Monkey Kid or outside of that theme at all. But it works perfectly in this context and fits really well under that balloon. You get 4 of it in this set too, so if you wanted to use those for some sort of mock, you absolutely could. Finally, the hot air balloon at the very top does use some all-new pieces. I don't know if this has come in any sets before, it may not actually be new for Fortnite, but it is definitely a newer version of this part, it's not the old small one. Obviously, these are just big giant molded pieces, so I don't have a ton to say about them, but I think they look really good. It's not 100% accurate to the balloon in Fortnite. Theoretically, they could have done it all white with like stripes of blue as printing, but you know what? I get why they did it this way, and it still looks really good, so honestly, I don't really mind it. There's these long rubber pieces that connect the arms to the balloon, and being honest, I don't love these. They just feel very awkward. If you pose them well, they can look nice, but I feel like there's just no good way to go about them. You could definitely play around with the posing a little bit to like really adjust it to how you like, but I don't know, it all feels very like imprecise to me. Again, that's a very small thing. I love this set, and it's like really not a big deal. But as always with these reviews, I try to be as objective as possible, so if something bothers me even a little bit, I do try to point it out. But I want to be clear, that is absolutely not to say I don't like this set. I love this set. And we'll move on to the minifigures in just a moment, but there's one more thing we have to look at here, and that's of course the inside of this build. So if you move these arms on the side of the battle bus up and out of the way, then you can remove the entire bus's roof to get access inside. Inside of the bus, there's 9 different seats, which perfectly fits the 9 minifigures that come in this set. Now that does force one of the minifigures to be the driver, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked maybe 1 more row of seats. However, that probably wouldn't be too difficult to customize, because you can see in the middle here, it's actually just completely open. And that's where characters can prepare to jump out of the bus, because this is where the door is that opens up. And yes, all 3 doors in the set do actually open up, including the one at the back. So that's a good place to stand minifigures up and pose them, so then they can jump out onto the battlefield. At the front of the bus to the right of the steering wheel, there's another stickered console piece. That just has a dial on it, as well as a radar that's like tracking the battle bus. It would have been cool to maybe see like something bigger in terms of an Easter egg there, but I don't think there's anything more than that just being in the battle bus. Still though, I appreciate that it's included. They very easily just could have used a generic console piece. This makes it a little bit more unique. Here's how the battle bus looks like fully filled up with minifigures. Something very cool is the minifigures actually do fit in with their accessories. I was a little bit worried about that. But nope, even with the big pickaxes and the shield potions and the slurp juice and everything, the seats are made big enough and the bus is made wide enough so that everybody and everything still fits in. Another cool thing in here is the backs of all the chairs are actually adjustable. It does depend on what's behind them, so on these it's only a little bit, but then like these right here can go completely flat back down. And obviously that's cool for just like customizability purposes, but it does serve a functional purpose too. You can see I have Meowscles right here. And he's got this big giant tailpiece at the back, which would make it very difficult to sit down. But if I just lay his chair down flat, he still fits in the battle bus with everybody else. Same thing with Peely too, he's got like a little bit of bulk at the back. It's not a ton, but it's enough that he does need to lean the chair back a little bit. So I'm really glad they accounted for things like that, because they very easily could have just used like the standard LEGO chair pieces, which would have looked fine, but would have been a lot less functional. But yeah, this was absolutely the better decision. Incredibly happy with this. Here's how the bottom of the battle bus looks if you're curious, just a lot of anti-studs. It's about what I'd expect, this is perfectly fine. Oh, and of course, while the battle bus is definitely best known for flying, it can still roll against the ground. That's something we see in Fortnite every now and then, depending on the season. But I appreciate that the set can do that too. It's a very little thing, but I don't know, it just gives you more options for display, more options for play. And just like with any vehicle, it can be a lot of fun just to roll it back and forth. But I think that's about all I have to show you for the build of the set, the battle bus, at least for now. I'll talk about it a bit more at the end of this video when I give you my overall recommendations. In the meantime though, let's take a look at the minifigures that come in this set. Here are the first 2 minifigures in this set. We have Battalion Brawler, who's basically just a default version of Jonesy, and then we also have Adventure Peely. Jonesy makes sense to come in this set. He is the main character of Battle Royale, and I think they did a pretty good job with his minifigure. I appreciate that he has dual molded arms because, you know, when a minifigure is not from a minifigure series, you never know if, like, sets are gonna have the budget for that. But I think it gives this minifigure the right level of detail. Like, it gives him everything he needs. When it comes to in-game LEGO Fortnite, most of these figures are a little bit more detailed. Most, if not all of them, have side leg printing. They all have dual molded arms if they need it, and arm printing too occasionally, so this guy isn't as detailed as he could be, but he's just detailed enough that he makes for a really nice looking minifigure. The hairpiece is very yellow. I would have been fine if they toned that down a little bit, but I suppose this works. And then he's also got an all-new face print, which makes me very happy to see. Nice, good, just like generic male face. He's got lighter eyebrows, which look good, and there is an alternate face where he's got this very confident smirk. That one I don't like nearly as much. It's quite a bit more exaggerated, but with the hairpiece on, I think it still does a good enough job to represent Jonesy. And then the actual outfit, I mean, it looks good. I like the olive green used for the jacket and the little orange scarf at the top. I appreciate that he has, like, the one knee pad, too, that tons of, like, original Fortnite skins have. He is probably the least interesting minifigure in this set, but he's one that makes a ton of sense, and I'm happy he's here. And then you can see his accessory is just a standard LEGO pickaxe. Again, makes sense, but nothing too crazy. Coming to Adventure Peely, I was definitely expecting us to get a version of Peely in this set. I'm a little surprised it's Adventure Peely and not just normal Peely. But this is a way more interesting design than normal Peely would have been, so I like that they chose this one. He's got this really cool, like, wraparound printing for his jacket. It's honestly really impressive. I don't see LEGO do that too often. But yeah, every single surface here is printed from front to back. I wonder if that required, like, a new machine or something, because yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And there's some intricate details on this minifigure too, like there's printing at the very top where the banana's, like, slightly peeled open, and of course he's got the brown tip at the very top. Tons of different colors used as well. There's that lighter yellow, there's the brown, there's blue, there's, like, this darker blue. It's more than we tend to see on one minifigure piece. Like, it really feels like they went all out with this guy. He's got some really nice dual molded legs too that, like, put him in shorts. And then if I take the entire, like, new banana mold off, which, yeah, of course, that is a new molded piece, his torso print underneath is just completely unprinted, which, like, obviously, always prints would be nice to see, but that's literally completely covered up, so it was not necessary at all. And with the head on, this guy looks pretty amazing. Now, in the LEGO Fortnite game, he does have arm printing, but once again, like, that's not necessary here. They already went so detailed with everything else. Arm printing would have been nice, but it would have just been a bonus. And then in terms of his accessory, he comes with a grappler, which is a very cool build to get. Very simple, only 3 parts, but it looks absolutely perfect. He's another really great minifigure in this set, but the thing is, all these minifigures are so good, so honestly, I don't know if I could pick a favorite till the end. Coming to the next 2 minifigures, we have Brite Bomber, my beloved, as well as Cuddle Team Leader. Now, Brite Bomber, as much as I love her, unfortunately, I feel like is one of the weaker minifigures of the set, and that's just because she's missing something. Because so many of these minifigures have new molds, all of them have new prints, and there's so much that's, like, so new and exciting about them that, like, matches the Fortnite game so perfectly. Brite Bomber, though, unfortunately, is missing the glasses on her hair. That's, like, a huge part of her skin. She has these glasses that, like, she's not actively wearing, so they're just, like, on top of her ponytail. And I think that's a really cool part of her design that's just left out here. To make up for that, they did put glasses on her alternate face to be like, oh, this is how she looks when she's wearing them. And I appreciate that that's at least something, but the thing is, that's not, like, a style in the actual game. The glasses are always on the head in the actual game, so as awesome as the rest of the figure looks, it does make her feel a little bit incomplete. That being said, I do love the rest of this minifigure. The hexagonal pattern, like, the bottom of her torso into the legs looks fantastic, and I love that transition there. It feels super smooth. She's got that one little bit of knee armor that I mentioned that, like, so many different Fortnite skins have. You can see it on Cuddle Team Leader too. And the level of detail here is genuinely just amazing. Again, so many different colors used, so many, like, intricate little parts of the design. There's shoe printing too, which sounds like a small thing, but not every minifigure gets that, so I'm happy to see that. And if I turn her around, her back torso print fits in really nicely too. I love this skin, so I do love this minifigure, but unfortunately, I don't think it's as strong as some of the other minifigures in this series. And then Cuddle Team Leader could definitely be considered one of the Fortnite mascots. There's a few Fortnite characters who are hugely popular and immediately recognizable, and yeah, this is definitely one of them. She's got this really intricate, like, new molded mascot headpiece. It's dual molded in pink and white, so that's where the ears come from, the pink eyes, as well as, like, the little rip with the stuffing coming out. And in the torso and the legs, I love the, like, fur texture that she has. Even though it's not three-dimensional, it does match the three-dimensional aspect of that head. The absolute coolest part about this minifigure for me, though, is actually what's under the head. Because Cuddle Team Leader never shows her face in the game. Like, there's no edit style where you could take that mask off. So they very easily could have done with what they do with, like, Mandalorians from Star Wars, where they just have black heads underneath, because they're not meant to take their helmets off. But no, they actually gave her an all-new exclusive face print for this minifigure, and it's a double-sided face, too. But wait, that's not all. She also comes with an alternate hairpiece so you can display her with that mask off, and it's the same ponytail that Brite Bomber has, but in black. Now, I believe what they're going for here is this is meant to be Ramirez, who's another one of the defaults. She was the original main character of Save the World, and she's probably the second most important default after Jonesy. Brite Bomber actually is Ramirez. She uses the same model, it's just with different colored hair and obviously a different outfit. So because of that, this works as a Ramirez face, or this works as a Brite Bomber face. If you look at the facial features, they're exactly the same, so this just gives you more expressions to put onto Brite Bomber if you want. This one especially is really good because of that, like, big wide smile. The only kind of weird thing is the color of the hairpiece. It's black and not dark brown. I believe in-game Ramirez has dark brown hair and not black hair. Black hair is actually used by Headhunter instead, but even still, I'm inclined to believe that this is meant to be Ramirez and not Headhunter because of how similar the face print is to Brite Bomber. I think Headhunter would have a slightly lighter skin tone too. But yeah, I love this so much because this just shows how much love and care is put into these minifigures. Because if Cuddle Team Leader didn't have a face print, I don't think anyone would care. But the fact that she does makes this figure extra desirable and just so much more interesting. So yet another one of the best in this set. Oh, and one more thing, accessories. Brite Bomber, of course, just comes with a pickaxe, and then Cuddle Team Leader comes with this, which I assume is a big shield potion. That's what it looks like to me, but according to the official set description, it calls it Slurp Juice. In my mind, that's not what Slurp Juice looks like, that's what a big pot looks like, but I guess that's up to your own interpretation. Next up, we have Meowscles, or Meowscles, however you want to pronounce it, as well as Drift. Meowscles is probably personally my favorite minifigure in this set, because oh my goodness, look how cute he looks. This is the funniest minifigure I have ever seen. For some reason, they made his head super tiny. Like, I don't believe this is proportional to how he looks in the game, but I think that is absolutely for the best, because that tiny head on this giant body looks so funny. Because I guess that is kind of his whole thing. He's a little cat who's big and muscular. So this helps to show off those proportions, even if it does make his head look small compared to other LEGO minifigures. But yeah, of course, that head is an all-new molded piece. We've never seen that before, and it's just so perfect. I mean, look at it. I don't believe there's any dual molding on the head. To me, it looks like all of this is printing, which is actually very impressive, because that does wrap all the way around, even on top of the ears and everything. And then yeah, as I mentioned before, he does have a little tail at the back. That's the same tail piece that was originally introduced in the LEGO Simpsons minifigures for Scratchy, but it's been used on numerous minifigures throughout the years. Currently, it's used on Monkey King pretty often in this exact color, so not necessarily new or anything, but fits this guy really well. And for some reason, if you don't like it, very easy to take off. Leg piece is pretty good, just like some nice generic jeans, but he has like that paw print on his belt to like make it very clearly him. Again, shoe printing, which is always very nice. But then the coolest part about this minifigure is he does actually have arm printing on one arm. As I said, in the LEGO Fortnite game, most of these characters have arm printing, very few don't. And it's not the end of the world that they don't all have it in this set, because it is some extra detail they don't necessarily need. But the fact that this guy does have it makes him feel extra special. So yeah, I love this minifigure, one of my favorites in the set. Looking at them all, he might be my absolute favorite, but they're all just so good, it's so difficult to pick. And then we have Drift, another very iconic Fortnite character. The coolest part about him is by far that new hood piece, because I mean, look at that, that is awesome. It's dual molded in magenta and white, and there's so much detail in that printing on the face. I absolutely love like how sharp the lines on the eyes are, the gold looks super pretty, and the overall texture is really nice too. Like, that's not completely flat, it is three-dimensional. They put a lot of effort into this minifigure, and it looks really good. All that being said, I feel like the torso on this guy is maybe a little bit generic. It does fit the character well, but it feels somewhat flat to me. I would have liked some more detail there, maybe some more folds, a few more colors. Maybe using like magenta printing on top of the magenta piece would have been a nice way to add some extra texture to the figure, make him feel a little more three-dimensional without changing the design too much. I'll admit, I am being very nitpicky here, like it really isn't a big deal. This is still a really great minifigure, but when it comes to little things like that, I don't know, I think it's worth pointing out, even if it doesn't like personally bother me that much. His legs I do think look good. They're relatively simple in game, so this is a good enough translation. I think it's neat how you can see his white undershirt peeking out a little bit here. That's a fun touch. And then at the bottom here, these are supposed to be shoes, which I mean, I guess. It's got that weird thing where LEGO doesn't print at the very bottom of the leg, so it creates this weird gap between the toes and like the top of the legs. Now, Drift shoes are black, so I suppose that kind of works, but some dual molding in the legs definitely would have been nice there, like black at the top, white at the bottom. Face print's quite good though. It is one of the newer skin tones, which is very nice to see. And then he does come with an alternate hairpiece if you don't want to have the mask on. It's the Storm hairpiece from the second LEGO Marvel minifigure series, now in blonde, which might be a new recolor for it. Either way, it definitely fits this guy perfectly. And there's a look at the back torso print too. Obviously no alternate face because it would show through the mohawk. All things considered, again, not my favorite of the series, still really like him because all these minifigures are so good, but I feel like the mask is by far the best part, and then the rest of it's just not on the same level. Finally, accessories for these two. Meowscles comes with a slap juice and Drift comes with another grappler. The build's exactly the same as the other one, but it's cool to get multiple. Next up we have Raven and we have the Cube Assassin. Now, Raven's another one of the most iconic Fortnite skins of all time, and I was very excited to see that he was getting a minifigure. And while I said Meowscles is probably my favorite of this set, this is probably objectively the best minifigure of this set. because oh my goodness, the level of detail in this guy is incredible. I'm genuinely shocked they were able to fit so much in here. Number one, of course, the hood piece on him is all new for this minifigure, an entirely new mold. It's dual molded in black with these dark blue feathers on the side, and then the purple scarf that hangs down is sort of painted on. And they very easily could have just done a fully molded head for him, but no, he still does have a normal minifigure head underneath. And it's this really ominous one that's just entirely black with these little pink eyes. That, I feel like, can lead to some really cool custom minifigures, both that headpiece and the hood piece. Because yeah, you could swap that on the other minifigures to give them an entirely different look. His torso print overall is very dark with like these dark blue pockets and little bits of detailing, but then the dark tan straps on top of everything like really pop against those colors and just fit in so perfectly. There's a reason why the original Raven skin was so popular in Fortnite. It was inherently a really cool design, but the LEGO designers took that really cool skin and translated it into minifigure form just absolutely perfectly. You can see there's almost like little feathers hanging down the back here too to match with that hood. But then aside from the hood piece, the next best part about this minifigure might actually be the legs, because these are amazing. They are actually dual molded, but then they also have side leg printing, which none of the other minifigures in this set have. I know it's very dark, so I don't know how well you guys could see it. I hope you could see it well enough. But there's like little dark blue feathers that hang down, that go into black feathers and finally go into the shoes. From the front, you can see a little bit of purple legs underneath everything, and the side of the other leg's pretty much the same, though there's some silver in here to show like little bits of the shoes and the armor. That's actually present on both sides. This minifigure's so good, I don't know if they could have done him any better. Like with the others, I was like, yeah, arm printing would have been nice, but it's not the biggest deal they don't have it. This though, this feels like the perfect translation of this character into minifigure form. No notes at all. I'm so happy with this. This is an incredibly cool design they did a great job with. And then Cube Assassin's a pretty weird character to be getting. All these other characters are like really important to Fortnite. Either they're like hugely popular or they were like a very early skin. This one though is kind of random. Like I had to look up what the skin was because I didn't remember off the top of my head. However, I actually got the chance to interview some of the LEGO Fortnite designers a few weeks ago with a few other creators, and they provided some more insight as to why this minifigure and the next one were chosen. Essentially, they wanted to introduce some conflict to the set, like some good guy versus bad guy action, and they knew Raven was going to be in the set. He's very iconic. He's got this super cool like dark and spooky vibe. So they wanted some of the other minifigures in the set to sort of match his vibes. So if you wanted to imagine they're in like an evil team together, it would work like visually. And after hearing that, honestly, I totally get that. I think that's really cool. Because as an older collector, I'm going to put this on a shelf and I'm going to really love it. But if I got this as a kid, I know I would have played with this for hours. And when kids or anyone is playing, it's important to have those like storytelling aspects, the good guys versus the bad guys. So it's really neat that they included that in the set, even though that's not necessarily a part of the source material. Like, in the main game, these guys are just player skins, they're other players. But here in the set, you can imagine them to be whatever you want. All that being said, yeah, this was a weird choice for a minifigure, and I didn't know how to feel about it. But once again, I'm incredibly impressed by this one. This honestly might be one of the best in the set, though I feel like I've said that about most of them in this video. The worst part is definitely just this classic LEGO hood piece that she uses, which, I mean, works fine, but it just feels very antiquated at this point. It would have been cool if she got a new hood piece, but also I kind of get why she didn't. That aside, though, the rest of this minifigure is amazing. Her head is transparent pink with like these broken up parts of a cube to make it up, and it gives her this like very surreal, inhuman look. Torso on both the front and back uses like these metallic pink runes, which I love that color choice. That looks awesome. Especially on top of purple as a main color too. And then yeah, black and purple is always a great color scheme. Love the consistency between the torso and the legs, and those runes are all throughout. There's little like shards of crystal on the one leg too. Yeah, this is a surprisingly great minifigure. I did not expect to like it as much as I do. And finally, accessories, yet another pickaxe and Raven, and then the Cube Assassin has another big shield. Finally, the last minifigure in the set, we have the Trespasser Elite, who's another part of this like villain squad. Just like Cube Assassin, he would not be anywhere near my first pick for a minifigure in this set, but that being said, once again, they did a really great job with him. The entire figure just looks so sleek. I love all the metallic silver used both on the arms and on the torso and legs. When you reflect it in the light too, it looks extra cool. But I love how angular and sharp everything is. It feels very intentional. Most other Fortnite skins have a sort of messy aspect to them, and I think that's part of the charm. So it makes this guy really stand out in the best way possible that he doesn't match the others in that way. Metallic silver is used for the arms and hands too, which is very nice to see, because the metallic silver hand actually has become more common this year, but was a very uncommon color for that part for the longest time, so I'm always happy to get more. And then he uses the Ninjago Stone Warrior armor piece in black, which I believe is actually a new color for that part. Kind of surprising to see, because yeah, that part's been around forever. I'm surprised it hasn't come in black before. Let me actually check Bricklink real quick. I take it back, I was totally wrong. It has come in black before, it's just been a little while. It was in Nexo Knights in black, as well as Pixel and Hands of Time. So not a new color for this part, but it is a reintroduction of this color for this part. So that's still pretty cool. And then in the game, this guy does have an alternate style where his helmet's off, and you can't actually do that on the minifigure, because he does have an exclusive face print underneath. It's a transparent pink head, just like the Cube Assassin, but it's just this floating pink cube. And while I think he definitely looks cooler with the helmet on, that's a very appreciated detail. And here's a look at his full back torso print with the armor off, as well as the full front torso print. Another amazing minifigure in this set, like genuinely all of these are so good, and they really just leave me wanting more. But now, overall, what are my thoughts on the LEGO Fortnite Battle Bus set? Well, if you couldn't tell throughout this review, I love this thing. This is probably one of my top sets of this year. One thing I haven't touched on yet is the price, and the price here is genuinely fantastic. Like, this is a great price for what you get in this set. Only talking about the build, it's about right for $100. It's not like amazing for $100, it's not bad for $100 either. The build feels like what a $100 build should be. However, what skews the value really good is those minifigures, because you get 9 all-new minifigures in this set, and all of them feel so premium. Because if I think about big Marvel sets, or Harry Potter sets, or even like Lord of the Rings, which are $350, right? Even in those sets, they skimp out on the minifigures a little bit. Like, Rivendell's awesome, but they were reusing face prints for characters like Legolas, who's like a huge character who really shouldn't have a reused face print. But that's not the case at all in this set. Like, all of these figures have new, exclusive parts. Every single part in this set is new for these figures in this set. And they went above and beyond, too. Like, Meowscles has arm printing, he didn't need that. Raven has side leg printing, which looks amazing, but they probably could have sold him without. Jonesy has dual molded arms, Raven has dual molded legs. And then Cuddle Team Leader and the Trespasser Elite have exclusive face prints that are completely hidden, and were only included for extra flavor in the set, which I absolutely love. There's tons of amazing new molds here too. Cuddle Team Leader's mask piece, Peely's like entire head, Meowscles' head, Drift's mask, Raven's hood piece. If these minifigures were in a collectible minifigure series and cost $5 a piece, honestly, I would not mind. I would still probably buy all of them, because they're just that good. But they're not in a minifigure series, they're in a set with an already great build, so it all comes together just to be a fantastic package. If this set's within your budget and you're a fan of Fortnite, 100% I recommend this set. Like, if you're gonna get anything, this should be the set you get. I would like to see smaller minifigure scale sets in the future, because I know $100 is out of a lot of people's price range, but if you can afford it, I absolutely think this is worth picking up. And while LEGO did send me this one for review, honestly, I'm considering buying a second, because it's just so cool, and an amazing set overall. One more thing I want to touch on is the lack of any, like, guns or anything in this set, because I know a lot of people are talking about that. LEGO doesn't do gun stuff, so I get it. I'm happy we got the skins at least, and pickaxes and shield pots are cool. I will say it would have been fun to get some sort of weapon, obviously not a realistic gun, because LEGO doesn't do that. But even in LEGO Fortnite, there's snowball launchers, there's, I forget what it's called, but like a sci-fi gun from the Alien season. That's in LEGO Fortnite, so something like that would have been cool just to create some, like, actual conflict between these characters. But maybe they're saving that for future sets. So yeah, all things considered, absolutely love this one, cannot recommend it enough. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And let me know in the comments which LEGO Fortnite set do you want to see an early review of next. But as for this one, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!